hey guys, we need your help. We've noticed not all of you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, so subscribe today.
Subscribe, hit that button.
Yeah, so I guess my question is, the hardest part for me about any of these trades is looking at free agency and the draft and saying, hey, there are just not a lot of corners out there. There's not a lot of great defensive backs. They don't grow on trees. That's why we'll get into this next one. For me, that was the most valuable one next, but you're seeing these massive hauls for defensive backs. But I do think it's smart to concentrate. You don't need quarterback, check. You don't need wide receiver, check. Those are hard positions to fill. Your O-line is fine. It could always be. I would argue you should always be drafting O-linemen, but whatever. But you're okay at O-line. So those are really hard. So now you can concentrate your efforts at the cornerback position, which is a very smart strategy. Unlike what I saw from the Jets, they sold Quinnen Williams, obviously, and then Sauce Gardner. So let's first talk about it from the standpoint of how the Jets are now. This is a complete reload, clearly, but it's very hard to get rid of both defensive tackle like Quinnen Williams and a corner when presumably you're doing all of this in order to get a quarterback. That's a lot of the key fundamental positions that you're going to need to fall right in the draft. They don't grow on trees. Supply and demand dictate how the economy of these positions work. And I'm sitting there and I went through all of the different draft positions and I'm like, I don't know how they're going to get all of these things in the next maybe 27. That's kind of like we like to say we'll have patience for a rebuild, but I have yet to see a team that's actually patient during a rebuild. But tell me how you feel about the Jets now and where they kind of stand and what's going on with the Jets.
Well, it's tough because even if you go out and get a quarterback, you're trading arguably your two best players, guys that help young quarterbacks on defense, guys that can get stops, stop the run. So yeah, it's a total rebuild, and I find it's going to be hard for Coach Glenn to. I always thought it was interesting for coaches when you have a fire sale like that, how you keep the team together, how you keep the culture building in the right direction, being a new head coach, when you're basically kind of saying, this season's a wash and we've got 9 weeks left. So it's hard to keep everyone that locker room locked in when the season's pretty much down the toilet. So it'll be a big test for the coaching staff up in New York to keep that team together and keep the culture moving in the direction they want it to go.
And let's add on top of that, we thought maybe Breece Hall could be a candidate for trades. There were some rumblings about Jermaine Johnson. I mean, Breece Hall was tweeting during Tuesday, like basically like, where am I? Like, well, this is that's going to be especially hard to kind of get that locker room all rowing in the same direction. Like, I don't know how many companies would do that, like in any industry, let alone where we're like, hey, why don't you go run at a 300-pound man? Go out there and give us your all, buddy. Like, let's do that. But I mean, that one's obviously, that's their strategy. I hope that I'm wrong because I like Aaron Glenn a lot and I want him to succeed. And I actually want all teams to be good because I like to watch good football games, but it's going to be hard to replace all of those players and all of those positions in a reasonable time.
And also, I just understand it's clear that Breece Hall's not coming back next year. He does not want to be a New York Jet. So, why not get something for him? Because, they got 9 weeks left in the season. They're not going to the playoffs. He's going to be gone. Let's try to go out there and get a 4th, 5th, third, whatever you can get for him. Get something.
Thank you. I mean, and also figure out who on your team wants to be there and who actually is worth the spot. If you're now going to play someone who you clearly know is not going to be there next year, not because, listen, it's different. It's completely different if you're like, okay, well, they're not going to be here next year because we can't afford it. It's a cap casualty. That's a different feeling than like, yeah, this guy hates us. We kind of hate him. We don't want to be here. So
you just said a great point. They're going to find out who wants to be there and who wants to be a New York Jet. And it could be a good thing because the cream could rise to the crop and you get your core group of guys that sell out this year and it's part of the rebuild. It's a big job to keep everyone locked in.